much of this is happening due to a growing mistrust of science. People sharing so openly about their vitriol, hatred, mistrust, and lack of faith in the scientific enterprise and the people who are doing it. That's a fact. But the opinion I have about why this mistrust is occurring is because of a failure of communication with the public. The reason that there are so many non-scientists coming to so many different conclusions about how things work, how things are being done, how things are inefficient, how projects that are being funded are stupid and have no merit, how there's so much corruption within the scientific ecosystem, how there's so much bias and different competing interests. And generally speaking, the claims that are being made about scientific research by non-scientists that are factually inaccurate, that are able to be proven incorrect, is because of a failure of communication with them. And if we don't communicate with them, then they are left to their own interpretation of what's going on. And oftentimes that interpretation is incorrect because they don't have the context and the actual factual details, because it's not being communicated to them. It's not readily available to them, at least in a way that's accessible and understandable. There's an inevitable misinterpretation of information. They are then building up a narrative that is inaccurate, and then they're spreading this information. Incorrect information is becoming viral because people are starting to feel like they've been hoodwinked this whole time, that they have been sold inaccurate information about the scientific enterprise, and their tax dollars that are hard earned is going to stuff that is not helping them. It's funding things that make no sense to them. And as a result, they are angry and they're advocating for and supporting the scientific enterprise collapsing. So that failure in communication that feels so innocuous, that gap leaves a lot of room for misinterpretation. And what I don't think scientists realize is that people want to know what they're doing because their money's going to it, because they are hopefully going to benefit from the work that we're doing for themselves, for their loved ones, for if they ever get diagnosed with something. They care about the results, about how this is being done and how it's ultimately going to help them. We're in a place where everybody's angry at each other. Scientists don't understand how we got here and they feel attacked. Now we've gotten to a point where our system is collapsing on us. We're losing our jobs and our ability to do the work that we have worked so hard to train to do for so long, that is often thankless, that is so unimaginably difficult to do. So many people have sacrificed so much to dedicate themselves to science and to benefiting human health, and they're being completely eviscerated and shat on because people think that we're evil as researchers. I really personally do not believe in the malicious intent of the vast majority of people. I think the end results and consequences are devastating and horrible, and I understand how we got here. And I also think that there's opportunity for growth and for building those bridges back up on both sides to get back to the same page. For starters, helping people understand the process of biomedical science research, how this works, how this infrastructure works, how training works and funding and the choosing of grants and how institutions work, how costs work, and ultimately how this process functions. Because then if we're all operating from the same page of reality of how things actually work, as opposed to these very wild spun off narratives that have been born because people don't know how things work, so they're creating false narratives about it. If we can get on the same page, then we can actually troubleshoot how to solve the concerns people have.